Welcome to an extra helping of magic. We are back for another year raising money for the Daily Bread Food Bank. My name is James Allen. I will be your host for the evening, and here we are coming together as members of the Sid Lorraine Hat and Rabbit Club in Toronto to raise some money for a wonderful cause, but more importantly, to have some fun with all of you. So I hope from wherever in the world you are watching, you get comfortable, you get a nice warm glass of something to snack on, and join us for an hour or so of amazing magic featuring members of our club. We are delighted you could be here tonight, and we hope that at some point during the evening, you will follow the link at www.ibmring17.com/show and make a donation to the food bank. Every donation over $10 gets a tax receipt, and every little bit helps. But you are here to see some magic, so we are going straight away to the Browser's Den of Magic. This is the brick and mortar magic store in Toronto, recently celebrated its 47th anniversary, and we are magicians. So the magic store is obviously where members of the Hat and Rabbit Club get all of their hats and their rabbits and who knows what else. And we are joined by a very dear friend, Jeff Hinchliffe, who has something absolutely amazing to show you.
Okay, I'm sure people have seen these magicians that can cut and then shuffle cards and then reach in and cut to an ace. Now, anybody can do that once and get lucky. Let's see if I can cut to a second ace. We'll give the cards a little bit of a shuffle. And if I'm really lucky, I can actually cut to the last two aces together. Now, in fairness, you didn't know where the aces were to begin. Maybe they were all together ready to be cut. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to lose those aces in 4 different parts of the deck. So the first ace we're going to lose down near the bottom of the deck. The second ace we're going to lose about halfway down. The third ace we're going to lose about a quarter of the way down, so near the top but not quite on the top. And the last ace we'll actually place on top, and we'll cut it so that it goes down in the middle. Now, I often ask people, how many times do they think that I would have to shuffle and cut the cards in order to regain control over those aces? Some people think 2, 3, 4. The guys that are really good, though, are able to get all 4 aces back in just one shuffle. Now, that's controlling the aces directly. So the next feat I'm going to do, the most difficult, is to control the aces indirectly. What does that mean? It means that I'm going to place the aces in 4 distinctly different parts of the deck. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And I'm going to control these aces but not by controlling the aces themselves, but by controlling the 48 cards that surround the aces. So let me see if I shuffle here and here, and then we cut there. That should be good. Now, if this worked, what I've done is I've controlled the 48 cards around the aces. So we should have all of the black cards and all of the red cards have separated from each other. But within all of the red cards, we find only the 2 black aces. And within the black cards, we find only the 2 red aces. And that's why I have no friends.
Thank you so much, Jeff. What a wonderful way to start off our show. Jeff has been a magician for many years and is also a demonstrator at the Browser's Den of Magic. So if you were watching this and you were curious about magic and you want to take your first steps and find a book to read or one of those interesting magic bits of apparatus that you can take home and play with and share with your family and friends, that is the place to go. As I said, they recently celebrated their 47th year in operation, and our community in Toronto would not be what it was without them. So thank you so much. Now, the food bank is extremely important to us here in Toronto. The last several years have been, well, they have been what they have been. When we started doing these virtual shows, we had much scruffier beards. We were not allowed to get haircuts. And now things are a little bit more neat and tidy, but things are still not entirely back to normal. This past year, there were over 1.7 million food bank visits to the Daily Bread in Toronto, which is the largest in its entire history. So food insecurity is still a tremendous issue of importance for many families here in the city, and every contribution you are able to make helps. So as you will get sick and tired of hearing, if you could please take a moment to go to ibmring17.com/show and ibmring17.com/show, follow the link to donate, and every little bit helps. Donations over $10 receive a tax receipt. And now we have a special message from our current president. David Peck is a magician, a philosopher, a filmmaker, and host of the Face to Face podcast, which has over 500 episodes. He is joining us from Oakville. David.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our annual fundraiser. Happy holidays. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're able to join us. Maybe you're joining us for the live/virtual presentation of the magic show tonight. Maybe you're watching this several weeks after it's already played. Doesn't matter. The point is that you're here, and we hope that you enjoyed the show last year. Actually, the last couple of years, the Sid Lorraine Hat and Rabbit Club has been putting on a show in support of the Daily Bread Food Bank. And you know, things are returning to normal. We are slowly getting back to normal after such a crazy couple of years. But believe it or not, 1.7 million food bank visits happened last year in the city. And so we've decided once again as a Magic Club to come alongside the Daily Bread Food Bank and to support them. And do you know that we've raised over $10,000 in the last couple of years? In fact, last year alone, we raised that much. So it's quite remarkable what people can do when they come together. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that really a magical thing? As corny as that might sound, as we're all sitting here waiting for this virtual magic show to begin. A big thank you to James Allen for hosting tonight, for stepping in and for editing and for piecing this all together, for being in front of the camera and behind the camera as well. And also a big thank you to all of our acts on the show. This is a big deal for me personally as the president of the Sid Lorraine Hat and Rabbit Club, but also as a Torontonian and as a fellow magician as well. You know, we are going to be back live next year. We're going to see you in a theater. We hope you're going to come out. We hope you're going to spread the word. But for now, sit back, enjoy the show. And please, if you're interested in making a donation, you can always find our website online. We are the Sid Lorraine Hat and Rabbit Club. That's ibmring17.com. You can find us there and enjoy the show. Thanks again. Happy holidays. Have a great night.
Thank you so much, David. But it is now time for more magic. So now we are going to one of our newer members. He has been studying magic for a relatively short time. He is originally from India and finds himself here in Canada studying physics at the University of Waterloo, and then practices magic so he can enjoy breaking those laws of physics as soon as he learns them. So please join me in welcoming Rahul Menon.
Hey, Peck, ready for some magic today? Yeah. So, as the pandemic comes to an end and life's getting more and more normal, I thought we could go ahead and have some fun today. So, we're going to play a game. And the theme for today is Follow the Leader. I have a nice surprise for you if you are able to go along. Rules are simple. What should I do? Wait for the bell, then act accordingly. Yeah? Feel like a puppet. It's funny too. Great job.
Magician.
Perfect. Okay, so now you have an option. You can go ahead and win the Oreo now. Or get a chance to win some extra Oreos and play round two. Round two. Round two. Okay. I'll be back in just a second. What we need with Oreos is always some milk. Right about the cups. So yeah, you get your Oreos, and just before we start, I'm gonna have you go ahead and pick a card. This card will say stop wherever you want. Stop, right? Stop. There. Cool. To the other side, we have Jack of Diamonds. I'm gonna do something strange. Hold on to this. Now, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do something very weird. Okay. We get back to that in just a second. For now, you don't have to read a card, but we can start the game now.
Okay.
Once again, follow the leader.
Okay. Okay. No bell this time?
No bell.
Okay.
You are advanced now.
Delicious.
Thank you. Sorry, you lost. I don't know that. Nobody. When he does this, but you see, in the middle, we actually have one piece. You just hold out that card, turn around, you can see you have a perfect match. What? You go ahead. You're still doing this for the first round, and thanks for participating. Hope you had fun.
Thank you, Rahul. And as we mentioned, membership in the club is open to everybody with an interest in magic. We have professional magicians, we have amateur magicians, we have people who enjoy collecting magic, studying magic and its history. It really is a very open and inclusive environment, and throughout the year from September to June, we put on seminars, workshops, get-togethers, where members can come together and share magic, and also events and performances like this that you can share with family and friends and invite them to watch. So if you are curious about magic and you would like to learn more, you can go to ibmring17.com and find out more about the club. And if you are in the Toronto area, we would love to see you at one of our meetings. And since you are here watching this show, if you have not done so already, please consider visiting ibmring17.com/show and clicking on the donate button. That will take you directly to the website for the Daily Bread Food Bank, and all of your donations will go directly there. Any donation of $10 or more automatically receives a tax receipt, and every little bit helps. And we hope that you've enjoyed the show so far, and we would be delighted if you could share a little bit of magic with people dealing with food insecurity this holiday season. And now we turn to the great white north of Innisfil and one of our great past presidents of the club. This is somebody who has spent their life performing magic and, somewhat more uniquely, building large magic props for performers all over the world. So if you have someone in your life and you would like to see them sawn in half, this is the man to see. Please join me in welcoming Gerry Frenette.
Thanks, James. Hey, everybody. So sometimes when I do magic, people will ask me, is that real or is it an illusion? And the truth is, it's both. It's an illusion, but it's a real illusion. You can't have a fake illusion. It's just not convincing. Let me give you an example. 3 pieces of rope, a little short piece, a medium length piece, and a somewhat longer piece. What if I was to tell you that these 3 pieces of rope were actually all the same length? All I do is fold up the ends one at a time like that. And if the ends are all equal at the top, wouldn't that mean that the ropes are the same length? Except in the middle, of course. But then all I have to do is give a little pull like that. And now we have 1, 2, 3. Let me show you that again. 1, 2, a little bit tangled. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3, all the same length. Now this isn't really happening, it's just your imagination. If I fold up the other ends now and put them all at the top, we now have 3, or actually all 6 ends equal, and the middles are also the same. So they really look like they're the same length. Just your imagination. A couple of snaps of the fingers, we have a little short piece, a medium piece, and a longer piece. So what you have to ask yourself is this really 3 pieces of rope that are different lengths but only appear to be the same? Or are they actually the same but only appear to be different? I'll leave that one up to you. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am our Magical Bob, and I'd like to show you a few of my magic tricks tonight. First one's a cup, and I'm going to pour some water in. So be very careful I don't spill it. Put it in the bag here. Then I get to a point, what am I going to do with it? Next solution, we have 3 silks, a pink one, a green one, and a yellow one. A touch of the magic wand, and that's what you see. Now, as spring is getting closer, we would like to get some spring flowers. So if you want one for a bouquet very quickly, you have some seeds. Put the seeds in here. Give it a little bit of water. Some extra light. And 1, 2, 3. Here we have an empty box. I'm going to put the spoon in. And I'm going to break the balloon. Oh, what do we have here? A bone. And a wee dog. And that's magic.
Sorry about that. Feeling very much more myself. Thank you very much. That was one of our longest serving members and master of magical apparatus, Bob Hurd. So as you know, magicians do things with cards, they do things with coins, and we have all kinds of weird gizmos in our arsenal that we can use to share magic and wonder and mystery with the world. For example, this is a left-handed handkerchief. You're not familiar, let me explain. This is left-handed, and no, left-handed is not some new trendy Toronto slang that means purple. It has to do with how the thing is made. So every piece of clothing you've ever owned has stitching on the edge, so it doesn't fall apart, and so does this. And in North America, that stitching always happens the same way. You go left to right, left to right, left to right. But if you look carefully at this one, I mean, you're not going to see it on 1080p, but you can trust me, this is not sewn left to right, it is sewn right to left. And anyone who's ever seen a sewing machine knows the needle is supposed to go down, up, down, up, down, up. But if you look right here in the corner, this one went up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And many of you who are not magically savvy are thinking, yeah, so what, magic boy? It means this material is topologically incongruous. If you try and tie a knot in it using your right hand, nothing happens. And this is, trust me, not one of those things where the hand is quicker than the eye. You can really do this quite slowly. You can cross over, go through the loop, out the other side, grab, pull, nothing. And this is not as weird as you think it is. Your home is full of technology you do not understand. How does my freezer keep the ice cubes cold? Nobody actually knows. Can I go to a menswear store in downtown Toronto, bother the salesperson, say, yes, find me a pocket square if you try and tie a knot in it using your right hand? It doesn't work, yet somehow exactly the same knot tied with the left hand does work. The answer is clearly yes. Welcome to the world of magic. To summarize, left hand normal, right hand not normal. And obviously this gets worse. Or better, depending on what you've chosen to drink tonight. And I'm here at home, and so I'm going to do this using a wine glass. If we were doing this live and in person, we would grab a volunteer against their will from the audience and use a piece of their anatomy. Not that piece. And I will get this nice and secure, and you will observe that this is normal. Well, I mean as normal as I can be as a man in my 30s with a wine glass on a leash. But that is only normal because that is my left hand. just so we're clear, this is as much sense as magicians ever make. The longer you let us go with this, the weirder this gets. And people often ask, how is it that you wind up doing this? Some parents ask, how do I make sure that this never happens to my children? Both are valid questions. When I was very, very young, I would say about 3 years old, there was a member of my family who would, say tease is to put it a little bit strongly, but there was something that at 3 years old was causing me a tremendous amount of anxiety. Well, tremendous amount of anxiety for a 3-year-old. It was this concept that there were right shoes and left shoes, and as far as I could tell, they were the same, and yet somehow the tall people expected me to keep track of which one was which. Made absolutely no sense. Ultimately, I came to the solution, which is when you take them off, you put the right one on the right side, the left one on the left side, and when you come back, they're ready to go. And, that was all well and good for a time, until one afternoon, someone got very upset with me. They said, "What are you doing?" I didn't know what I had done wrong. They said, "You can't go out like that." What do you mean? You have to go upstairs and change. Really? What do you mean? You're wearing 2 left socks. And psychologically, I have never recovered. But for the time being, just remember that I have 2 hands and, of course, 6 coins and a very fast trick. 2 hands, 6 coins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is based on the idea of symmetry. This is even, this is balanced. But if I were to cross my hands, I can't melt them through one another. They don't pass through. I have to decide, does that one go on top of that one, or does that one go on top of that one? And if the hands are asymmetrical, I make that choice. The coins, they sort of protest. Now, like many things in the art of magic, it is just fun to practice this over and over and over again. Now, I said that this was a fast trick, and at some point, locked in this apartment for several months, not able to get a haircut, in one of these magic books, I discovered there is a faster way. Now, sorry, some of you are squinting at home. You're trying to figure out what these are. So let me see if I can do, yes, this. So I am from Canada, but I have a grandmother from Montana. And if I can get the glare off of these, you can see very, very clearly. These are the real thing, by the way. They're 140 years old. They are worn down to next to nothing. They've been in people's pockets. And you can recognize on that side, that is the Statue of Liberty. And everybody recognizes the symbol on that side. That is a bald eagle trying to take away a woman's health care. And here, we're in Canada, so we still have the Queen on all of our money because, we are one of those countries. But now, you get the same trick, except faster. You have the same 3 coins, but another one, which is a different color, it's a different metal, it's actually thicker and heavier, which means the hands don't have to cross, they don't even have to come close. You can that was actually kind of fun. I'm going to do that again. Some of the tricks in a magician's show are really just for the magician. But very slowly. Oh, come on, I can sense your skepticism through YouTube. Watch. You can actually put a whole table in the way. Yes. I also discovered, locked in an apartment for several months, unable to get a haircut, that you can mix and match. So we have an American coin, a Canadian coin, and a left-handed handkerchief, which you will recall was irritating about 3.5 minutes ago. And let me see if I can set this up. An American coin and a Canadian one. And we'll begin with my home country, the Canadian one. the Canadian one. And now, the American one. Sorry, I should point out the handkerchief is left-handed. If I want the American one, I should use my right hand. Now, of course, continuity is important. So if that is the American one, this is the Canadian one. And this is the kind of silly nonsense that we're up to. Take it or leave it. And we have had a tremendous pleasure having you here, sharing some magic with us in the middle of a cold December. And we hope that you have enjoyed yourselves. If you have enjoyed yourselves, you can take the link for this show and you can share it with friends and family. We are going to leave this recording up for a full 2 months. So you are more than welcome to see that. And if you have anyone else and you think they would like to donate, you can share that link with them as well. Just a reminder that every donation made at www.ibmring17.com/show goes directly to the Daily Bread Food Bank here in Toronto, helping families with food insecurity. We have one last performer who is joining us this evening. He has been a magician since he was knee-high to a grasshopper, and he is going to share with you a classic of magic. Please welcome David Sutherland.
In Michigan, there's a village called Colon. Yes, that's what they actually named it. Magician Harry Blackstone and his company toured North America from the 1920s to the 1940s, and when they weren't on the road, they lived in Colon. Blackstone, an Australian magician named Percy Abbott, opened a magic shop there called Abbott's Magic, which still exists today. In 1937, the pair organized an annual get-together for magicians in Colon, which still takes place in August each year. Consequently, Colon became known as the magic capital of the world. When I was 11, my dad drove 8 hours from our home in Simcoe, Ontario, to Colon, Michigan, just so I could attend the Abbott's Magic get-together, because that year Abbott's was honoring the Blackstones. Now, Blackstone Sr. had died in 1965, but his son, Harry Blackstone Jr., toured the world with his father's show, and everyone at Abbott's got to see it. The show included all the classic Blackstone illusions: the vanishing birdcage, the dancing handkerchief, the floating light bulb, the buzzsaw, and a number of large-scale illusions, some involving camels and tigers and horses. But for me, the best trick he did was in front of the main curtain, alone, sitting on a stool. He removed a cigarette paper from a packet. There was a very small spotlight, and I sat on the edge of my chair and watched as he tore the paper. Into 4 pieces. And rolled them into a little ball. Gave them a squeeze, and then the next day, I actually got to meet Blackstone, and my dad took a picture. This remains one of my fondest memories.
Thank you so much, David. What a fabulous magical ending to our show. To everybody who has joined us and watching this far, thank you so much for your kind attention. For everybody who's taken the time to donate at www.ibmring17.com/show, thank you. That is it for us tonight, but the magic does not have to stop here. So if you have enjoyed yourself, please share this link with friends and family. We would love for them to see it. We will keep this show up, the recording up, at ibmring17.com/show for a full 2 months. It will be visible everywhere in the world for free. And on behalf of all of our performers, David Sutherland, Gerry Frenette, Bob Hurd, Rahul Menon, Jeff Hinchliffe, and I guess that's me, James Allen, and the board of directors of the club, David Peck, Al Warren, Ian Crawford, Patrick Nemeth, and Colin Geddes. We thank you so much. We would love to see you at one of our meetings. We wish you a safe and happy holiday season, a wonderful new year filled with magic and mystery and wonder. Thank you so much. My name is James Allen. Good night.